Ooh, my new sleeves have arrived. I got these bad boys from FlipsideGaming.com. You all should totally go to FlipsideGaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal. It helps support the channel. And I believe it's still the case that they have dragon shields for $8 a pop. This is $8 plus you get 10% of that off if you. I ordered 2. If you order 2, you get 10% off of the entire order. So it's a fantastic deal, made even better by using my promo code. And I mean, I absolutely bought these from Flipside Gaming. I'm not going to show the tracking thing because that might show my address and stuff, and I don't want that. So today we're playing Steel and Sack, and honestly, I didn't realize this initially, but apparently the deck I modeled this after, so it's not 1-for-1, but the deck I modeled this after is also done by Mono Black Magic. So once again, shout out to Mono Black Magic. His deck will be in the sideboard. His channel and his aetherhub link will be in the sideboard. But this is a very fun deck that a lot of people have asked me for because of the fact that it's super fun. So I think I need to just move some things around a little because this game hates us and doesn't like us anymore. So the gist of the deck is to steal your opponent's creatures and sacrifice them to gain value for yourself. So we're running 4 Llanowar Elves and 2 Druid of the Cowl. We want a little bit of ramp in the deck because for some reason the mana just hates me and it refuses to cooperate. I'd like to not have the Druid of the Cowls and would have like something else in its place, maybe a removal spell like a Lava Coil. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, it just refuses to play nice. Actually, we'll play a couple games and see how I like Skeletons still. We're running 3 main deck Duresses because they've been really helpful in my experience. They come in handy, essentially. 4 Priests of Forgotten Gods, one of our main sacrifice outlets when our opponents are when we steal our opponent's card. So what's really nice that you can do is you can, Act of Treason one of your opponent's creatures, and then you can activate Priest and sack like a Llanowar Elf or something at that point, and then they don't have a creature, and you get to draw a card, and you get 2 mana, and they have to sacrifice another creature. So one of the games that I'll talk about later was really helpful in that. Then we have 2 Reassembling Skeletons. This is kind of just like your general sacrifice outlet if you don't have the ability to take your opponent's creatures. So this is something that you can sacrifice constantly, get it back. You can also have it as essentially a blocker, a really slow blocker, but a blocker nonetheless. So that is something that's helpful. 4 Bloodmist Infiltrators. Kind of, I really wish this was just a 2/2, to be honest, because it would be a little bit more difficult to remove, but it's one of the MVPs in the deck because of the fact that you just attack, and on attacks, you just get to sacrifice a creature, right? So you don't really have to worry too much about any shenanigans. You just play this on turn 3, or maybe turn 2 if you have Llanowar Elf, and then the next turn, you Act of Treason, you steal something, and you sack it, which is really awesome. And it's really nice because then it becomes unblockable, so you still get damage there and you don't have to worry about it dying, so that's very nice. Also, if you have Bloodmist Infiltrator, you can just keep sacking skeletons to functionally pay 2 mana to get this unblockable and kind of beat them down. I don't think I've ever done that, but it's something you can do. 3 Plaguecrafters, another one of the nice cards that we can use to sacrifice our opponent's things. Essentially, we take it, we play Plaguecrafter, we sack theirs. We usually don't have that happen. Oftentimes, we'll just play Plaguecrafter if they have a single creature anyway, because, as I said, the mana base just hates me and it doesn't want to play along, so I usually don't get up to 6 mana. I'm sure I'm going to flood like every single game I play today, but who cares? Then, of course, we're running 4 Act of Treasons and 3 Hijacks. The reason we're running 4 and 3 here is because Act of Treason costs 1 red less, and we don't want to have like too much red needed in the mana base, so that's why we're running it 4 and 3. You probably could get away with running 4 and 2 Hijack instead, but I wanted to make sure I got to use one of these effects at least once during the video, and preferably like 3 times during the video, so that's why I'm running this many. I honestly suggest that you probably should cut down to 4 Act of Treasons, 1 Hijacked, and then probably none of Journey to Eternity, and then instead of those have something like Lava Coil or something. But that's how many running. It's fine. This can steal an artifact, but like there aren't any artifacts that you want to take, I don't think. Journey to Eternity, it's just a fun card. this is a deck that sacrifices its cards, so it's relatively easy to flip, but it's only a 1-of because 1, it's legendary, and 2, it's really easy to disrupt when you just cast it and your opponent casts a removal spell on the creature you're targeting. So we're running 3 Vraska Golgari Queens because it's another really simple sack outlet, right? So if we have a Vraska down, we can go ahead and just steal something and immediately plus to sacrifice it, or we can attack with that creature and then plus, or you know, we could have her out and Angrath, which I had in a game, and I sadly lost that game, and I'll explain that later, where you just steal something with Angrath that is more than 3 CMC, and then you can +1 to sacrifice. Additionally, she has a nice -3, where you can go ahead and get rid of some of these annoying creatures. She plays really interestingly with Angrath because of the fact that her -3 can get rid of something that Angrath's minus can already get rid of, so you don't have to worry about necessarily minusing on Angrath if you don't want to. But then her +2 works really well with Angrath's -3 because of the fact that you can deal with creatures that otherwise wouldn't be sacked, so it's really interesting. But being able to just destroy things like Archer Vraska and stuff like that are very helpful. It also destroys the History of Benalia, the card I was looking for, and it's really nice. And of course, Emblem is nice, but you don't really want to win with that. I did win one of the games with that. Angrath. +1, each player discards and loses 2 life. Very helpful against the control decks, considering the fact that they're likely not to be playing as many creatures. So the majority of our game plan doesn't really work out. The -3, though, is allowed to take anything, and it does have haste, so you can still crack them with their own creature. And it sacrifices anything that has CMC 3 or less, which is a decent amount of cards. Of note, specifically Hydroid Krasis, when it's on the battlefield, will always have a CMC of 2 because of the fact that X is 0 in all places except for the stack. So that's something that you should note, that if you do take their Hydroid Krasis, they won't get it back. So that's very nice. And then -8, of course, is a nice kind of pseudo win condition. This is the mana base right now. It's a ton of all of the lands that can produce black, we have 4 of, and then the lands that don't, we only have 3 because red and green aren't nearly as important as black, as you can see. Like, they're added together, they don't equal this, but we still do need to have the red, and we still do need to have the green, especially early on. So that's why the split is as it is. It probably could be better, but this is, you know, how I've done it now. But let's hop into some games. We did go 3 and 3 in not 3-4-3, but 3 and 3 in the practice games, which I will pull up now. So our first matchup today. So I should say that I tried to play this yesterday, and it, for whatever reason, it just was not working for me. This is an okay hand. We don't have any green, but we can, like, we have access to this into both of these, which is nice. So I think I will keep this. We do want red at some point, and if possible, we can get, we'll pay 2, just because the sequencing is a little bit better. But we want to get Angrath down. So this is probably mono white aggro. But actually, do I want to do this or do I want to do this? I think either way is fine. Well, I don't have red, so I guess technically this is better because on turn 4 I can play 2 priests. Yeah, I guess it's harder to force them to sacrifice something. But if they're just playing a Johnny's one, ooh, yeah, that's the good stuff, Hostess. So we're gonna go ahead and just play Vraska out. We're gonna plus but not sack because, I mean, as you can see, we still need this mana. I could have destroyed that, but I don't need to. Then I'll go and attack and then decline because I don't want to sack my Llanowar Elf. So having that Vraska out on turn 3 is really nice. The unfortunate bit, of course, is the fact that we don't have any red mana. So this looks like a white-black Lifegain deck. Johnny's Pridemate, sure. And I can just kill that, right, with Vraska. So I don't even have to worry about this. This is, you know, it's a 1/1. I don't care. Right. Ooh, Plaguecrafter 2? Don't mind if I do. I would really like... I'd really like to gain mana. And I think that playing Priest earlier would have been slightly nicer, because I wouldn't have worried about sacking her too much. But I really want to sack something to gain. But we'll go ahead and just do this, I guess. And we'll just play double Priest this turn, so that next turn we can sacrifice something. Will I offer this trade? I think I do, because of the fact that I have 2 active priests, right? I don't really need to have... cool, and they didn't decide to block anyway. I don't really need to have 3 active sack outlets. I do want to double check. Make sure my audio for the game audio isn't too loud. It doesn't look like it is. So, another priest. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to sacrifice one of our priests to try and draw a land. Not a land, very unfortunate. I think we're just playing another priest, and I think we're just, once again, attacking with Bloodmist. I'm still fine offering up this trade, but I want to keep the Priest of Forgotten Gods around in order to be able to just kill anything of note that my opponent wants to play. So we're kind of keeping them locked down since we are up against a creature deck, and that's very helpful. That's really where this deck shines, is against other creature decks. So, anyway, back to the practice games. Yeah, so like I went against Mono Blue, lost. This was yesterday's. Merfolk and I won. Mono Red completely just like lost when I was really sad. Mono Red, once again, I died on turn 4. Okay, my turn. Thank you for this red source, and then now we just go buck wild. And then against Chromatic Black, which I hadn't played against in a while, they had just all the answers. So let's essentially just bury our opponent in card advantage here. Oh my gosh, Angrath. No steel. Angrath has the best voice lines in this freaking game, dude. He just laughed and said run. It's so good. Do I sacily do a priest now? No, we have plenty of mana, so I think I just +2 and not sack anything. Like, I still don't need to get rid of this. My opponent seems to just be in a situation where they don't have anything going on, and I could be attacking with my priests as well, but I don't want to run into anything nonsensical, right? There's really no reason for me to put them in danger when I'm chunking them for 3 each turn, right? So I have them dead in 3 turns. They have 2 Johnny's Welcome, so obviously something could change, and they might have top deck a Contempt. That's potential, and that's fine, right? If they're taking their turn to do that. So, but yeah, so getting to today's practice. We went up against Gates as the first deck, and a turn 1 Duress got rid of a Circuitous Roots, and they just didn't have any like lands to come into play untapped, and since they didn't have the Circuitous Roots, they couldn't get to their high-end cards, and eventually I just completely destroyed them. Let's +1 here. I'm going to Act of Treason because of the fact that I want to show it off. I want to show the deck actually working. Oh, my opponent's mana screwed. Okay. So here, I don't know if I'll attack all out. Or should I just sacrifice this? Yeah, okay. Well, I was a little too slow in order to actually show the deck off, but you can kind of see what exactly the deck was going for, right? So, against Gates, they stumbled too much, and that's one of the nice things that this deck can just kind of play a normal like ramp style deck where you like play a Llanowar Elf early, and then you have this 3 power creature on the next turn, and you can attack, and then eventually you get out an Angrath, and you kind of just put them in a position where they can win. I believe that game I actually won with Vraska's ultimate. So here we don't have anything on turn 1, which is unfortunate. We do have 7 cards that we can play on turn 1. We don't have anything that needs green, which is nice. But if this is an aggressive hand, or an aggressive deck, I think this is probably an unkeepable hand because of the fact that we have to take at least 2, and then we probably play this, and we have to chump block, and then we're not guaranteed that 3rd land. And if it's a token strategy or a go wide strategy, then these Plaguecrafters aren't as good. So this one's a very tough mulligan decision. And I would like to know what you guys think. Would you keep this hand or would you mulligan this hand? I think I'm going to keep it and see how it goes. But there's definitely an argument to be made to get rid of this hand. So we don't have to take any life here. And depending on what they play this coming up turn, we'll decide whether or not we play Skeleton or Priest. I assume it's an aggressive deck because it's white. Yeah, okay. So I believe I'm just going to play Skeleton. But the unfortunate bit is that I have to pay life for it, and we haven't drawn a land yet, right? That's one of the things that I was saying is very annoying. Yeah. I guess I should have just mulliganed. Oh, it's Boros. Okay, gotcha. Here's your Benalia. Yeah, I mean that's really bad. That is very, very incredibly bad. There's not really a reason not to attack, I guess. Yeah, so I block that all day. Do I block that all day? Actually, I don't think I do. This is 3 damage, but theoretically, if I hold out hope, I can play a Plaguecrafter and sack this instead of sacking the Plaguecrafter, so I think I won't block this turn. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to draw land. I'll shut up now. So yeah, I think we just Plaguecrafter. Yes, I think we Plaguecrafter. And just sack the skeleton. And the reason we do this is because we have now the potential to block out these 2/2s anyway. Whereas before, they would have, you know, a 2/2 and a 3/1 that they can just attack with impunity, right? I assume my opponent isn't going to attack here. Ooh, that is bad. That is very, very bad. Interesting. They give me that trade, and I take that trade. Yes, I take that trade because I just don't want to deal with the extra damage. Ooh, so this is interesting. So this is going to be a 4 power creature. Luckily, Reassembling Angel is only 3. But if I go the route of playing this and playing Priest of Forgotten Gods, then I can chump this with the Priest if I feel necessary, and then play Vraska next turn and kill this. And I think that's the correct play. The other line here was just playing out a Plaguecrafter to slow their damage down by a little. Because you assume that they sack this, they still get through for 3. But then we wouldn't be able to, we wouldn't have anything on board, right? And this way, we essentially pay 2 mana to fog a little bit for this turn. So they're on 4, so this could be an Aurelia turn. This might be, it's a Clarion for life gain. Okay, so they're gonna get a Angel token, which is unfortunate. You know what? Do I even block that now? 7? I don't think I do. Yeah, so they get an Angel, which is unfortunate. Hijack doesn't actually help. This is going to divert a little bit of their resources towards Vraska. But I think what I want to do is just kill the Resplendent. Oh, you know what? That was dumb. Oh, I didn't see that line. Oh, I'm so mad. So, I actually should have Act of Treason and then sacked with Priest of Forgotten Gods, which would have given me 2 more mana, and I could have just played the other Priest, and they would have functionally lost 2 creatures. Yeah, this was the incorrect play, and I'm very sad about that. I don't want to die. I think I honestly have to get rid of this.
What can I say? Death is cheap.
Darn. Oh, that was a bad play because Heroic Reinforcements is worse here for us now because they have 2 creatures instead of just 1. Oh, crap. Crap. I think that was a huge misplay. Darn. Clearing for lifelink again, but they need 6, don't they? Oh, no, they just need 5. So I won't block this, which I'm fine with that happening. It's unfortunate that they get another Angel, but I can steal. Which one do I steal though? Gonna lose mana. Actually, I am not a smart person because I can also Plaguecrafter, so no one can have creatures. How about that? So I will Act of Treason this. I will attack them with it because I might as well. Okay. Then I will tap this for mana. Tap this. Sacrifice. Oh, no. Target you. Submit. Sack these 2. Then they have to sacrifice a creature. I get 2 black mana. And I can play Plaguecrafter. Okay. Ooh, and an Overgrown Tomb. Not bad, not bad. Yes, I still think I just want to Plaguecrafter and play the Tomb tapped. Sacrifice a creature, Planeswalker. So do I want to keep the Priest? Next turn, if I draw another land, then keeping the Priest is better, because I'll be able to play 2... No, I guess next turn I can play 2 creatures anyway? because I have this, so I can play the Reassembling Skeleton and a Priest if they play a single creature that I need to get rid of. So I think I get rid of Plaguecrafter here. I'll go ahead and play this Overgrown Tomb tapped. Okay, so we're not in a terrible spot. If they do play just one creature, so that's not what I want to see at all. We did get another land, but I don't really want to go down to 4. But I could play Bloodmist plus Priest. I guess I don't have to. I guess I can just play this tapped. I can just play Priest now. And if I really need to, I can play this and then sack. Because this comes in tapped regardless, so there's not really much I can do about that. I guess I probably should have did that at sorcery speed because of the fact that they can't attack with this. I guess I can just block with the one I'm sacrificing, so that's probably fine. Yep, that is okay.
I will lend you my strength.
Maybe the attacks. I'm gonna do this. Pass the blocks. I block this. Block. When I do this. No, target you. This and this. So if I draw another land, then I can Bloodmist Infiltrator and Hijack. Ooh, Angrath is also good. Oh, and I can just do this. Cool. I didn't realize that I would get that. So we're going to do this. So do I want to Hijack or do I want to Angrath? I think I want to Angrath so that I can kill Hijack. Yes, okay. Ooh, spicy, spicy meatballs. So we're going to -3.
Ever seen water burn?
Ever seen water burn?
A fair price.
I cannot believe my deck is doing okay against Boros Midrange.
I am sorry.
Angrath is the coolest planeswalker. Oh, he's a dad. Angrath is a dad planeswalker. I bet he tells terrible planeswalky dad jokes to his 2 daughters. Oh, I love Angrath. Angrath's a dude, man. You ever see water burn? Alright, so we're gonna do one of these. We're gonna do one of these.
No fire.
No steel. I know I have more decks to talk about, but I am too entertained by the deck that we are playing against right now. We'll go and play this. And we don't really care, because we could just block with it if we wanted. We could block with Reassembling Skeletons, which is probably what we'll end up doing. And we have a nice Hijack. Lyra! Ooh, not something bad to Hijack. Hijack, attack, gain some life, sack. Heck yeah, brother. Ooh, yeah. I am so satisfied with how this deck is going. Yeah, we just chump. We buy it back end of turn. Next turn we force them to discard first, and then we hijack this. Oh, laddie.
No fire. No.
When enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your control. Oh my goodness, this deck is working out perfectly. Do one of these. Bada bing, bada boom. Enter combat. Attack with just Lyra. Get that damage in. Oh, they saw enough. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, that went so well. You guys can probably tell I'm super happy that I was able to show the deck, like, doing what it was supposed to do. Oh, I'm so happy. Anyway, let's get back to the deck not doing so well. The next deck that I played in practice was against Goblins, the Cavalcade Goblin thing. I should probably play that deck at some point. It's an interesting take on aggro. This is a no. You do not want these. This is a sure. Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. So we can play this on turn 1. Ooh, mono blue? Mono blue or Drakes. Not great for us. Hopefully not too bad. The problem is they just counter everything, and that makes us sad. Yeah, this is... Luckily, our sacrifice things don't target. Our gain control things do target, but our just general sacrifice things don't. So we'll go and play this down. Next turn we'll have 4 mana, which is not great, but we can play both of these cards. I would rather have Druid, just so if we miss a land, we can play Angrath. Let's see what they end up doing here. Another Curious, that's fine. Anyway, the Goblins deck we did lose against because they killed us real fast. They went super wide against sacrifice decks are relatively decent. So we have a Vraska here. But Vraska probably gets countered. And then I haven't added to the board, and if I don't top deck another... Like, if I top deck a land, it's going to be great, because I can just Angrath, even if that gets countered, I have another Angrath. But they can't Wizard Retort, but they could cast the creature one, Essence Capture. They could Negate or Spell Pierce, and either... Well, Spell Pierce wouldn't hit these. I think I'm gonna go for Vraska, because I think it is technically the most likely to resolve. Based on the fact they can't cast Wizard's Lightning, but they can cast Essence Capture. I don't know how much of, like, negates they run, but okay. So this resolves, and I think the correct answer is to minus. I have to force them to have it, right? So they're probably going to have a dive down. I could have just, targeted one of the Curious Obsessions, and thinking back, maybe I should have. But, you know, it's not a cure-all, and I think I just had to force them to have it, you know? Sorry, I need to take a drink from my my root beer. But if they decide to kill the Vraska, they don't draw cards. So I guess they're just going to leave Vraska alone. Excuse me. Let's see. After Goblins, I faced Esper Control, and I was doing really well. Except I was mana screwed. I didn't draw any more than 3 lands, and my Llanowar Elves at some point died. So even though I had a great hand against them, I took apart their hand really well. At a certain point, they were just able to stabilize because of the fact that I couldn't put pressure on them because I couldn't, like, cast anything, really. No fire, no steel. All right, that's unfortunate. We're going to go and just plus and not sack anything.
Don't dwell on what's about to happen.
Which one would I rather be Essence Captured? I guess Priest of Forgotten Gods? Pull the trigger on this one, please. Thank you. Wizard Retort, sure. I mean, that's fine. So we have all 3 of our Angraths in hand. So at some point we might be able to play Angrath, but the chance of us actually being... Oh, okay, so they're not going to draw cards this turn. Cool. So they don't draw cards, and that's very helpful for us. And based on the fact that they killed Vraska now, implies to me that they don't have a dive down. The problem, of course, is that they very, very likely have a counterspell regardless. We're going to play Angrath because we have 3 of them. Ooh, don't you dare bounce my Druid. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of shows, like, I'm stuck on 3 mana, right? Oh, fudge off. Yep. So I need to top deck a land. I could have tapped this, but... Okay, fuck you. Alright, I need to top deck a... I don't think anything helps here, because they're tapping both of my things down. And we had a land, so even if they only had one of them, we would have been fine. I hate mono blue so much. It's fine. No need to get our spirits down. We expect to lose a little bit. After the Esper Control game, we went up against Sultai. I was mana screwed that game, very similar to the game I went against Esper, except I won. And I think the reason I was able to win is because they are more of a creature deck. So I could still, like, utilize things. And against the control deck, I really couldn't. This is a keepable hand. A little painful, but keepable. It's not great if it's against control because of this, but it's fine. So we will go ahead and do this. And Duress my opponent. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and, let's see. I think we just take Obsession. Yeah, I think we just take Obsession. We can play around these 2, but we just don't want them to have the ability to play Obsession. So we're against mono blue again, so that's awkward. We'll go ahead and play this tapped. Excuse me. The following turn, we will be able to... You did not. Okay. I thought they top decked an Obsession. This turn we can play Bloodmist, and the following turn we can Act of Treason. So that's nice. So we're going to go on Bloodmist. This might get Essence captured. Please don't. Okay, opt. Whew. We went against Orzhov Lifegain. Fun fact. Taking a creature and then attacking with it and Bloodmist Infiltrator, sacking it to Bloodmist Infiltrator, and Afterlife 2 creature. Ooh! Don't mind if I do. So I'm very obviously going to steal Tempest Djinn, because it is a bigger creature. Oh, it becomes a 0/4 on my board? I don't care. This triangle's facing down. Oops. Why oops? Is it because you tapped out for your dive downs? Oh well, maybe next time. I'm allowed to be snarky. I just lost a mono blue. Yeah, so I, the Ministry of Obligation, I think is what it was. Do I try and hijack this? I could also just Plaguecrafter. Wait, it is Plaguecrafter. I was thinking of like Ring Crafters for some reason. I could just attack and not give a crap, and then Plaguecrafter afterward. Sure. Let's see if they take this trade. My opponent luckily is very behind it. Honestly, I think it's the fact that I took this obsession. They do decide to block. Okay. Cool. And I'm just gonna pass, right? If they play another creature, we have Plaguecrafter for it. And they don't have another creature. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can play around Spell Pierce here, which is very nice. So they can't actually get us with a Pierce. They'll need to have one of these be... Darn, they did, unfortunately. But, you know, you play into it. So yeah, they're looking for a creature at this point. But the problem with that is I have a nice Plaguecrafter. Oh my gosh. I need to use this. But I don't... I can't. I don't have the mana. I'll just cast Plaguecrafter, I guess. You have an Essence Capture? No, Sinister Sabotage. Okay. Well, that is unfortunate. No real reason to hijack this. Yeah. So now I know all they have is a dive down and a Spell Pierce. Ow. So another Vraska is okay. So I can play this. And I can play this onto this. Which I might as well. This way, if I do draw a Vraska and get it to resolve, I could sacrifice this, which would help me get back things like Plaguecrafter and such. So I'm under a little bit of duress here, but hopefully we can draw out of it. Okay, that's not helpful at all. I'm skittish about using this hijack. But I guess I'm just going to use it now. I assume they're going to dive down, which is fine with me, because if I top deck another one of my Vraskas, I want to be able to kill their Terramander. Okay, so they do dive down. That's fine. Okay, so we'll play this, and the reason we do like that we have, that we at least have the Llanowar Elf, is that if we do top deck an Angrath, then we can pay for it past Spell Pierce. The unfortunate thing is, we really need to get, you know, another Plaguecrafter, or... Unfortunately, this Act of Treason doesn't do it. Darn, that's unfortunate. I do think this is a game we could have won if we had drawn just slightly differently. Yeah. Darn. Sure. Rub salt in the wounds. Oh, and then we went up against Team of Reclamation. We legitimately almost won that game, except they had Niv Mizzet into Explosion on the turn where I stole their Niv Mizzet. So they were able to kill both of my Planeswalkers and both of my Mana Dorks. And I was like, oh, cool. I guess I still lose even though I got their Niv Mizzet. This is a fine hand. Hopefully it goes well. Let us keep this. We are going second. Let's please don't be another mono blue deck. Okay. We take this damage every time. I literally almost press enters tapped. So next turn, if we have to, we can play Plaguecrafter. I don't know why we would. Okay, Sultai. Thought Erasure. Alright, you get to take something. I assume they're going to take Plaguecrafter, but they might take Bloodmist. Yeah, they take Plaguecrafter. I am going to... So this could be Sultai Control. It could be Sultai Control, but I'm just going to double up on Elves here. And I value the 1 damage to their face a little bit more than I value playing this tapped. Oh, Crag Carnarium? Yep. It's Control. I was honestly expecting it to just be a Sultai Midrange, but... You know, ish happens. Darn. I mean, still... those 2 wins and like maybe just 3 losses, so I'm fine with that. They are kind of mana screwed. So if I'm able to get down Angrath uncontested, right, that, you know, I might be able to win just based on that. So are you really going to counter this? It's Surveil counter. It's Syncopate. They either have another counter or they were way too greedy on that Syncopate. And the nice thing is, I just have this Bloodmist Infiltrator. Please draw land. Oh, fudge off. Darn it. Because I have this nice aggressive board here. And the fact that they had to tap down for Growth Spiral means I could have landed that Angrath. And now I don't have that aggressive board anymore. But I could have landed... Okay, so next turn, if they do stuff where they tap things, then I can play Angrath. Ah, fudge. Do I try and play Angrath now? They have a counterspell, right? Oh, gosh. I'm just screwed. There's no way they wouldn't have done something. Let's cat the Angrath and be sad. Yep, they have a counterspell. I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so incredibly sad. Damn it. I guess next turn I'll try and resolve the Journey. Is this another third mystic? No, it's cast down. I'll give it another turn, but I think at this point we have lost. And we lost legitimately because we just didn't draw another land. Of course, like, we would have won only because our opponent didn't, but I mean, they kept that hand, so. Damn. I was a little quick on the draw, almost conceded. Crisis for 4. I could have dealt more damage to them, but I would have been facing going down to 2 next turn. Yeah. So I don't think I could have done that. Is another Crisis? No. So I will attack, and I will try to cast Plaguecrafter and see if it resolves. But, based on my opponent's deck, I'm fairly certain that this won't resolve. Okay, we're insiding. Does it actually resolve? It does resolve. Cool, cool. So I think I just drop... Do I drop the Plaguecrafter because Infiltrator can get through for damage? I think, honestly, I think I keep the Infiltrator because of the fact that I could theoretically just play a creature to try and sneak through that last bit of damage. But this game is Yeah, this game is probably over. Like, I mean, just their card advantage compared to mine. Well, I'll play another Infiltrator. Yeah, they're just drawing way too many cards. They've drawn 9 more cards than I have. Cast down. That's a trophy. I probably should have conceded by now, but there's still a chance. There's still a chance. There's no longer a chance. I need exactly Plaguecrafter. I'm just curious. I'm gonna concede. I just want to see. I just wanted to see her hand. You. Really hard to not say a word that I say constantly. That's fine. I think we won 2 games, right? 2 games to 3. And two of the lost games were against Mono Blue, one of the most hated decks in the format, and then the last one was against Sultai, where I got kind of screwed. I think that's fine. So we're going to talk really quickly about. I don't want to be in craft about the sideboard. No, stop clicking. I have 3 Moment of Craving in there to help against the aggro matchups. You want to be able to gain some life, and you want to have a large amount of removal for those mono blue decks and the red decks and things like that. 2 Lava Coils. These are potentially for the aggressive decks, but they're more for the aggressive decks that tend to have a slightly larger creatures. So the Drake decks, the like white decks, because those also not only do they have Loxodons, but they also have the indestructible guy. And this can get around it, I think. I don't remember. We're running 2 Midnight Reaper in the sideboard. This is against control, essentially. When you know your creatures are going to be dying a lot, and you also know that you're not really going to need those steel cards, those steel effects, you can bring this in pretty easily and get a little bit more value out of your creatures. 1, Rhythm of the Wild. This, again, is against control. Since you have so many of those 3 drops that you are going to be freeing up after sideboard, Rhythm of the Wild really helps to make sure your creatures are going to stick, and it also gives them a little bit more utility. So, for example, if your opponent's has out like their big finisher like Lyra or something, then we'll be able to play and have haste a priest, for example. So we'll be able to play out that priest and be able to immediately sacrifice your stuff in order to deal with that new visit. So excuse me, that's something very nice. Rekindling Phoenix is against both mid-range and control decks, so when you really need a lot more of that value against those decks that are running a lot of counterspells, a lot of single target removal, you want to bring in Rekindling Phoenix, and it's also just a decent card to sacrifice to your priests, since it does come back. Of course, your opponent could kill the egg after that, but then you're still kind of getting value because of the fact that they're still spending that removal and you still have access to that sacrifice effect. Eldritch Reborn is just another sacrifice card that does allow you to bring things back. This is definitely more for the mid-rangey and control decks that run fewer but very powerful finishers, but it's just a value card overall. And then, of course, we are running 2 Vraska Relic Seekers. As you can see, I did feel that it's very dichotomous of you want like those 5 cards against aggro, and then the rest are really mostly against control. You can bring them in against more grindy mid-range decks, but in general, this deck does seem to handle normal style creature decks very well. So that's why a lot of this sideboard is dedicated to those 2 extremes. And Vraska Relic Seeker is just a really nice thing to have resolve against those super grindy control decks, because it gives you a nice just blanket removal spell in its -3, and you get a sweet creature generation ability in its +2. So that is the deck. Let us buy a pack. And let's get an M19. Okay, we're going to get 3 packs apparently. And we'll open a pack. I'm legitimately satisfied with how this video turned out. I'm not surprised that we lost to Mono Blue. In a best of 1 format, it's just way too difficult to make sure you have the answers, especially when you're a deck that is also trying to do something that's very focused, very has very necessary steps, very routine steps. So being able to actually deal with Mono Blue while still setting up your value engine or whatnot is definitely difficult, and that Sultai deck was really annoying. But before I go, I do want to say that like these shields, these dragon shields, they're normal dragon shields, right? And they're legit. I bought these a few days ago, but last I checked, they're only like $8 on Flip Gaming. You guys Flipside Gaming is great. You should totally go there. I wouldn't have them as my like sponsor if I didn't like them and like their store and stuff. So you should definitely check them out and use promo code 6. I would of course like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Salamander and Croft, for their continued support. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel, you'll find links to that down in the description below. I will be doing some modifications to the Patreon rewards, mostly because school has been super busy. So I think I'm gonna try and do things that are a little bit more like interactive, but not things that take up a lot of time. So yeah, if you want to look forward to that, and if you want to give me some of your thoughts on the Discord server, which is also in the links down below, you can feel free to do that. Let me know what you all like in a patron, or a person who you become a patron. You guys know what I'm talking about. As well as links to the aetherhub account where I will host this. Definitely check out Mono Black Magic as well. His links will be in the description for this one. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go and tap that like button, add subscription to your mana pool, cast a comment to the comment section down below, and pass the turn and the video to some of your friends. And until next time, all will be one.